What's happening, boys and girls? How the devil are we? Shanksy here, and today we've got another Phasmophobia video for you. This time, we're going to have an in-depth look at every single spirit in the game. A lot of this information can be found in the journal, but on top of that, we're going to give some very unique tips and tricks to how these spirits' strengths and weaknesses can affect you during your investigation. So, without further ado, let's get into it. But first, intro. So objective number one is always the same. You've got to work out what type of ghost it is. Now, there are 12 different ghosts that it can be, but without skipping too far ahead, let's talk about the rest of the information that's on the optional objectives board. This is where we're going to get the ghost name. Now, using the ghost name more frequently is going to anger the ghost, and it's going to drop your sanity a little bit quicker than maybe it needs dropping. It will also increase its likelihood of attacking you. Now, as far as identity goes, each ghost will have a randomly generated unique name out of a different medley of names. Basically, I think there's like 20 different first names, 20 different surnames. It's a 50-50 chance if it's going to be a man or a woman. There are 7 unique skins, I believe, for male ghosts, 3 unique skins at the moment for female ghosts. None of that is going to help identify what the type of ghosts are, and there are 12 different types of ghosts that it could possibly be. So let's have a little look at number 1, the spirit. So first up, the spirit is meant to be one of the most common ghosts / one of the most passive ghosts. It's not entirely true. It's not specifically one of the most common ghosts at all. But when you do come across a spirit, it doesn't have a unique strength, and this can make it quite difficult trying to work out what it is. Now, one of the big weaknesses for the spirit is the smudge sticks. So using a smudge stick on a spirit around the spirit's room will actually make it stop attacking for twice as long as a normal ghost. The way that smudge sticks work is if you use them in the ghost room around the spirit, they will normally stop the ghost from entering a hunting phase for 90 seconds. But if you use them on a spirit, that actually doubles up to 180 seconds that the ghost cannot hunt you for, cannot kill you. Gives you a little bit of time, especially towards the back end of a hunt, to get that last bit of evidence that you needed. Now, for a spirit, you will need spirit box, fingerprints, and ghost writing. So nothing too much to get into with the spirit, unfortunately. But up next at number 2, it's the Wraith, one of the most dangerous spirits without a shadow of a doubt in Phasmophobia. Without a shadow of a doubt. The Wraith has been known for the ability to fly and can also pass through walls. Why is this important? Well, the Wraith is one of the few ghosts that will actually have a very different loop when hunting, and will pretty much just go through any locked door, anything like that, and just fly through different walls while on the hunt. Also, hiding in cupboards versus a Wraith is not going to help you. The Wraith has the ability to see through doors. What? That's right, if you're stuck in one of them small houses and think, oh, I'm just going to nip into this cupboard if it attacks, more fool you. It will see you, and next thing you know, you'll be seeing its hands around your face. Not a smart idea. A super difficult ghost to escape from during the hunt. Don't get me wrong, you can still hide from them. They can't see through walls, for example. But if you are going into a small room, they are going to see straight through that door and see your ass cowering in the corner, alright? Now, the Wraith will never touch the ground, meaning it cannot be tracked by footsteps. Now, this is a huge strength / weakness for it, because sometimes it's the information that you don't get is as good as the information that you do get. So salt when using a Wraith, when hunting a Wraith, is definitely your friend. So the Wraith will still interact with the salt pile. It will still walk over the salt pile, meaning it will break the salt. But it is the only ghost in the game that will not leave footprints. So if you've got salt and you've got a UV light, or you've got a glow stick and you put that glow stick next to the salt, if you notice the salt gets broken and there are no footprints there, odds are good you are dealing with this bad boy. If you are dealing with this bad boy, you need to find fingerprints, freezing temps, or spirit box. Now, sometimes the freezing temps or the fingerprints can be very, very difficult to find. So therefore, looking for that lack of evidence is sometimes as good as finding it, right? So that is the Wraith. Moving on to the Phantom. So a Phantom is a ghost that can possess the living, most commonly summoned by the Ouija board. It induces fear into those around it. At this point in time, there is no possession in Phasmophobia. However, wow! Could you imagine it? That would be absolutely awesome. Now, its unique strength at this point in time, as time of recording, 22nd of October, there is actually a bug with the Phantom, where looking at the Phantom will either increase or decrease your sanity by 15%. Now, it should give you that decrease all of the time, but there is a bit of a problem with the code. It is more stable in the beta version if you guys have switched over to that. So, looking at a Phantom at this point will either massively raise your sanity or lower it like it should do. Now, taking a photo of a Phantom will make it temporarily disappear. And to be honest, they are very, very difficult to get a photo of. Now, it's worth noting that if you take a photo of the Phantom, it will disappear, but it will not stop hunting. So it will carry on. You just might not be able to see it for a few seconds. Maybe not the best idea during a hunt. So for the Phantom, you will need EMF level 5, a ghost door, and freezing temperatures. Fairly easy one to get hold of, providing it's not being stubborn with the EMF 5. If you are dealing with something that you think is a Phantom, keep an eye on your sanity, drains or increases to see if you can, after seeing the ghost. The most famous of all our ghosts, the Poltergeist, is up next. Now, the unique strength of the Poltergeist is it can throw huge amounts of objects at once. The unwritten rule here is what they don't say, is that this will actually affect your sanity for the things that you do not witness. So if your sanity is starting to dip considerably after hearing events and things like that in rooms that you can't work out where the room is, then it possibly is a poltergeist that you're dealing with. They also have a huge ability to roam around, affecting things in other rooms to try and throw you off the track a little bit and to keep that sanity lowered. They are a little bit trickier than a lot of people give them credit for, and I've come across a few in Phasmophobia that are incredibly aggressive. Just ask my mate Death Clapdown. So, a poltergeist can roam an awful lot, but they are also the only ghost at this point in time that can be identified without a shadow of a doubt by just 2 bits of evidence. If you find a ghost orb and fingerprints, that is the only thing that it can be is a poltergeist. So keep an eye out on hearing different objects move in rooms, and also try and make sure that you're looking for signs in those rooms. If your sanity is dropping remarkably, even though you're not seeing anything, then you could be dealing with a poltergeist. Next up is the Banshee. Now, the Banshee is a natural hunter, and its power is absolutely terrifying. It will stalk your team one at a time, where other spirits, other ghosts will change their target in between every hunt. This one will target one player at a time, and they can travel huge distances to be able to get that player. So the power explained, once a Banshee uses its power, it will begin to navigate to its chosen target. Line of sight blockers and hiding have no effect on the Banshee's ability to navigate towards that player, and it will be able to reach them. After reaching the player, it will wait and then proceed to hunt if the player is not within direct line of sight. So it will then start looking for its target that is around that area, and it knows the area you're in, and it will start hunting down one at a time. This can be a bit of a problem, especially on the larger maps, because of the distance that they can travel so early on. It's ridiculous. It might throw you well off pay thinking the ghost room's over here when actually it's over the other side of the asylum. That's how big a distance they can travel at a very, very short period of time. Now, one of the really easy ways of dealing with the Banshee is if you do survive the initial hunt and work out who's the one being targeted, they can pretty much stay the other side of the building and hide away while the rest of the team investigate. barely safely. Now, the Banshee also fears the Crucifix. The way that the Crucifix works, it has a 3-meter block on a hunt. So where the spirit is, if they decide that they're hunting, they've got to pass a roll, a sanity roll, like a skill check, as it were, to be able to see if they can hunt. But if the Crucifix is there within a 3-meter thing, it will take a charge. It cannot hunt if the Crucifix is there. Now, if it's a Banshee, instead of 3 meters, that gives you 5 meters coverage. So in most rooms, 2 Crucifixes will actually block out that whole room. But you have only got 2 charges per Crucifix. And next up is a Djinn. Now, a Djinn is a very territorial ghost that will not really stray too far away from its hunting room unless it's on a hunt. Now, during the hunt, they are able to travel at ridiculously quick speeds to players that are far away. Now, they do need that line of sight to be able to go towards them. Now, the closer they get, the more they will start to slow down, which can allow you, if you're trying to kite them, to get a bit more of a gap and then work out it's a Djinn because it comes on top super quick, and then you can try to drift away a little bit. But that an half a risky strategy. Now, a Djinn will tend to affect a lot more electronics than any other ghosts, specifically phones, radios, car alarms, and light switches, sometimes leading you to believe that you've got a poltergeist as opposed to a Djinn. Also, when they start turning out the lights, a mare is also a possibility, but a mare often will not turn the lights back on where a Djinn will, confusing it with a poltergeist. A Djinn is a super tricky ghost to hunt because of these things. Now, turning the power off at the breaker will actually stop the Djinn's ability to travel at a very fast speed, making the hunting phase very, very, well, I say very, very easy, a lot easier than if it was left on. But if you are thinking this is a mare, you've then just given the mare exactly what it wants. So a Djinn is a super difficult ghost to identify, and as I say, they don't stray too far, meaning you've got to get all your evidence from that room as quick as possible. Now, one of the things that I would definitely recommend turning off the breakers if you do think you are dealing with a Djinn, and most Djinns will leave well enough alone if you're staying out of their area. So a territorial ghost that will mess around with electronics a lot more than throwing objects is probably the best way to distinguish them from a poltergeist. Now, the mare will turn the lights off, but the Djinn will also turn the lights on again, making it fairly difficult to get ghost orbs in that room. Hence, cutting the power will also help you there as well. So, that's probably the best way to deal with a Djinn. Move on to a mare. The mare, the source of all nightmares, making it incredibly powerful in the dark. Now, the way that sanity works, a mare has a greater, I think it's a +10 chance to hunt with the lights off, and a -10 chance to hunt with the lights on. So keeping the lights on in high traffic areas will definitely help you out. Always be aware of where the fuse box is, because a mare will try and kill those lights just before it hunts quite often. So be aware where the fuse box is to be able to turn that back on to give yourself the best chance of surviving against a mare. Now, if a low sanity player is in there and the mare's targeted, it can attack within seconds, literally moments, making it fairly easy to confuse with a demon due to its aggression. Now, the demon always has a +10 chance to attack, where the mare only has the +10 chance to attack with the lights on. With the lights off. Now, they will turn lights on and off and then cut the power just before the hunting phase, or turn the lights off in the hunting room just before the hunting phase. So it is quite difficult to identify the mare when it is there. But keep that in mind, guys. If you are experiencing copious amounts of hunts and you haven't got the evidence for a demon, you could well be dealing with a mare. Next up is the Revenant. Now, leave an F in the comments below for every fool that's tried to outrun a Revenant. We've all been there, and it's not worked. Now, a Revenant is slow but violent ghost. It's not slow at all. It is super quick when it's hunting. It basically has the Banshee's ability to hone in on a player and travel ridiculously quick when it sees them. Now, if you're blocking line of sight and you start to hide from the Revenant, it will become very, very slow. But unlike the Banshee, the Revenant can switch targets at any point. So if it does see someone else, it don't mind going off to kill them instead. It will literally just attack the closest thing it can, and it will travel at quick speeds to do so. Hiding from the Revenant, if all your team is hiding, will cause it to move very, very slowly and type of walk around a little bit more aimlessly than really, really hunting you down. Now you need EMF level 5 fingerprints and ghostwriting for a Revenant, and basically the best trick would be to hide every time you think the hunt's about to start. Next up is the shyest ghost of all, the Shade. Now, it will be slightly harder to find, and it will wait to start hunting until your sanity drops super low. You'll need EMF level 5 ghost orb and ghostwriting to identify the Shade, and you are safer with a Shade when in groups. But keep in mind, guys and girls, not all of these always stick to their shyness. The first time I ever got killed in this game was versus a Shade, and we were in a group of 4, and it triggered a hunt out of absolutely nowhere, with all 4 of us in the same room as it. Just because it's shy, don't mean it won't kill you. Right, this is the one that most people have been waiting for, right? The Demon, one of the worst ghosts you can encounter, without a shadow of a doubt. As far as weaknesses go, if you ask a question, if you are lucky enough to find a Ouija board on an event, you will be able to ask questions to the Demon, and successful questions will not lower your sanity. But demons have a plus 10 chance to roll against every single sanity hunt check, so they can hunt super frequently. Combine that with decreasing sanity, larger locations, things like that, they can start hunts every 30 seconds, guys. And it is my understanding, and I've encountered a few of these demons, they do not specifically need to spawn in the hunting room. They tend to be able to roam a little bit more freely when hunting, and they can pretty much pop out of nowhere and cover your eyes up. Alright, so they are incredibly difficult to deal with, especially the lower your sanity gets on the larger maps. At the harder level, intermediate and professional, they can start literally forcing you to hide for huge amounts of time. Now, don't get me wrong, every spirit's going to start attacking the lower your sanity gets, but demons will literally lock you up for a long period of time. Now, one of the big things for me with a demon is they tend to write in the ghostwriting book incredibly quickly, and they do like to use the old phones. The more it starts hunting you, the more verbose it will get, the more chatty it will get with the spirit box as well. They tend not to be very shy, right? They like coming forward, they like scaring your pants off and being able to attack you the more. Because the more things they do around you, the lower your sanity gets, and the lower your sanity gets, the more chance they can attack. So this is one of the big points with the demon, is they tend not to be shy. Now, quite often you will find the ghostwriting and freezing temps, the spirit box and the ghostwriting, which can leave you to think it could be an Oni, where you need EMF level 5. So keep in mind, they tend to be real chatty. Now the Yuri is up next. The Yuri is probably, in my opinion, one of the most difficult ghosts to deal with, especially if they are roaming. Now, a Yuri will tend to roam, but still have a room. So you need to find that room, collect the evidence, smudge that room, things like that, to stop it wandering. Now, one of the strengths on the Yuri is it's been known to have a stronger effect on people's sanity. Your sanity is meant to go down very, very quickly. But at this point, again, of recording, very much like the Phantom, is sometimes it can have the opposite effect, where your sanity starts going up a little bit as opposed to down. Now, if the Yuri is attacking, smudge sticks will stop. If you smudge when the Yuri is attacking, it will actually cause the Yuri to start wandering around aimlessly for the duration of that hunt. They can basically be used to nullify a Yuri's hunt once if they're already chasing you. But you've got to have smudge sticks on you and a lighter to be able to make them wander around aimlessly at the point of the hunt. Now, also, if you do smudge them, smudge the room that they're in, they will tend to stay to that room as opposed to wander around the rest of the building. So, smudge sticks with Yuris are absolutely huge. Next up and last but not least is the Oni. Onis are cousins to the demons. They're incredibly strong, incredibly aggressive, and the more active you are, the more active they are. They are not shy to show themselves. They will get involved. EMF level 5, spirit box and ghost writing. The more people in a group, the more likely the Oni is to attack. The more activity around their area, the more likely they are to attack. So it makes them very difficult to deal with, but they tend to give you a lot of information very, very quickly, so you can get out of there as quick as possible. Onis will show themselves pretty much immediately. They don't care. All right, that's the strength and the weakness of the Oni, is they will get involved double quickly. Right, guys, we have just covered all 12 ghosts in Phasmophobia, and hopefully I've given you a few ideas on how to deal with each and every one of them. If you've enjoyed the video, do me a massive favour. Give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and let me know what other type of Phasmophobia videos you would like to see, as I am absolutely loving the bones of this game at the moment, and I'm so excited about the future of Phasmophobia. I really am. I think the community's great. I think the game's great. I'm loving it. Guys, that is going to be it for me today. If you could do me a favour, leave a like, drop a comment down below, share the video somewhere, and Discord links are down below, live stream links are down below, and all that good stuff. But until next time, be smart, be strong, be safe, and good luck on your hunts. Take it easy.